The Batman is in trouble. Someone call Robin.
And John Boyega is ticked off.
Ooh, let's talk about that more. Movie Minds. Hey guys, this is Ish.
And this is Ant.
And we're Movie Minds, where we keep you up to date with all the movie news and reviews and some shows.
And check us out on all our social media platforms, guys. We appreciate all the likes, all the comments, all the subscriptions. And really, we love the fact that you guys are following us on all our social media, guys, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all these things. We're going to be bringing you guys more content. And we just appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for joining us on this great episode.
It's going to be fun. Before we kick it off, let's go into some worthy mentions. Yeah.
Well, the first worthy mention is the movie that we watched last week for the first time. We were back in the theater.
So good.
Escondido, California.
I kissed the floor, didn't I?
I think you did.
I think there's footage about that.
It just felt like we were like, oh my God, I can't believe we're in here.
Back in our habitat, bro.
Yes. It was just because I was going to the theater almost once every week.
Yeah, at least.
Or twice, maybe every week. So it was great to be back. But we went to go watch Tenet. And so Tenet has some news. We were looking at that. It's making a pretty good profit.
Yeah.
Although it's only been in 2,800 screens.
Yeah, man.
And so what do you think about that, man?
Yeah, well, we have 150 million worldwide, right? And
nearly.
The actual budget is 200 million.
Yeah.
So, 50 million shy on its first full week out is not bad. Taking into consideration the pandemic, of course.
Well, it's 200 to make the film, but
plus
whatever it took to market it, which was a lot.
Was probably a lot because they did a bunch of other things early, and then they had to redo it again. Right. And there must have been a huge hole.
And then this has been like Nolan's first film that it doesn't get like an A, like a 100%, Rotten Tomato or whatever. It's actually in the B-, I believe, is where they put the film. So this is pretty uncharted territory for Nolan films.
It's extremely interesting. Please go check out our review. That's in the channel. I'll go ahead and add it right now. Please go ahead and do that.
And also, we have some No Time to Die James Bond. We got the new trailer that came out, which was pretty interesting, man. What'd you think about that?
Well, this is a trailer that finally came out again because they had some before the pandemic, right? And there was
like 2 trailers before,
right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this one is actually my favorite one from what I remember. Okay. Just because I saw all the Bond girls really get into it. That was the highlight for me. Seeing the girl, I forgot her name. Ana de Armas. Dude, she's just a beautiful being.
I hate you, Ben Affleck.
Dude, she killed it in Knives Out. And you told me about other stuff that she's been in. Yeah. I'm just a huge fan of her right now. She's a perfect Bond girl.
She is. And she wears the heck out of that black dress, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
Absolutely. And I'm just really excited to see how the story, culminates, man. It's exciting.
Yeah, I feel like this new trailer really didn't make me think anything different of the Bond film. I'm still really excited to watch it. I felt like it was very, very similar to the other 2 that came out. You're right. They did put a little bit more emphasis on the Bond girls. I love Ana de Armas. I think she's like a really rising star. The reason why I say I hate Ben Affleck is because they're dating right now, Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas. And I think that she's a great actress. I think she's coming up. I feel that she's going to get more roles, especially with this one, because it looks like she's made to play a Bond girl. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's your honorable mentions for this week.
Yes. All right, guys. So let's go on into hot topics. Okay, guys. So it's been a very interesting time with COVID out and about these last few months, as you all know. That's not news. What is news, though, is a lot of production starting up again, ramping up, doing all their protocols with social distancing and such. And unfortunately, throughout the last week, we heard that Robert Pattinson tested positive for COVID-19. And it's unfortunate that it actually halted production for about 2 days, 2 to 3 days or so. And so my question to you, Ant, over all this information, should WB and other big studios postpone the entire production of Batman? Is that something that calls for it?
Well, in this particular case, you just mentioned, right, that Robert Pattinson has COVID-19. And so absolutely it needs to be halted because, this is a life and death virus. And so I know that they're taking every precaution necessary. I know that films like Jurassic World Dominion, Matrix Force are taking extra precautionary measures to make sure that their film they're isolating everybody. They're making sure that they're not more people are around their actors and the people that are working on the film. And the fact that Robert actually contracted the virus, I'm not sure how he did it. I'm sure it had something to do.
There's no info on that one yet.
Yeah, there's no fault, but at the same time, it's hard, right, with this thing. You don't know who has it. You never know who is going to give it to you. And so he could be definitely asymptomatic and come back and he didn't know. And now they know. And so now people like Matt Reeves, they were saying in the article that I was reading, is that they're going to be isolating even the people that were around him for even more than 15 minutes. And so it is a shame. They should do that. It is a shame though, because they were right back into it again, man. It just, I think they were like in it for like 2 or 3 days, and then boom, he gets the news that he has COVID, and now they halted production. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
My point of view on that is that, it's kind of tough to go into production with such a humongous budget, so much expectation on the film, and on Matt Reeves projects that are coming up. And there's a lot of pressure, and it's really hard to deal with that amount of pressure when a lot of eyes are on you. And I totally see how like big organizations are dealing with it. And there's really no one right way when we do have an outbreak of sorts like this. We need to take precaution as much as we can, because maybe we won't get sick, maybe I won't pass from it, but someone in my family might get that and get really sick. And so it goes without saying to everyone else, but it's tough. And I do see how they're taking care of it, and I'm really glad that they did hold production. Now I'm on the other positive side of things, more optimistic in a sense of wanting to push things forward, and we need to get to a place where we're back into some sort of moving a schedule of our day-to-day, and I think we know enough about the virus. I'm not an expert or anything like that, but it seems like a lot of people are on the same trip on that. So seeing that they halted, but they didn't completely cancel the production is great to see. I really applaud WB for taking care of what they have done so far. So, I mean, what do you guys think about that? I don't know. I'm on a positive side. Let's continue on. Let's take care of those who got sick, but also at the same time, let's see what else we could do on the same time.
And I think that Robert knew that the best thing that he can do probably for his health and for everyone else's is for him to isolate. And I know that I believe that they were going to be isolating for about 10 or 12 days. I know that the norm is 14 days, but I think I was reading that they were going to isolate him for about 10 to 12 days. And so anybody that came close to him. So I'm glad that it doesn't have to be that long, especially if he doesn't have symptoms that go past those days, that he's not like crazy, get sick or anything like that, and they can resume production like all these other films that have started doing their thing. It's a shout out for all of us, I think, guys, to be careful about who we're around. I know that Rock also came out and said that he had his whole family got it, and so he's taking like extra measures to make sure that no one in his family gets it anymore. And so let's just be responsible, and hopefully this will commence pretty soon again. So.
Yeah. All right, guys. So let's move on to the second hot top of the day.
Yeah. We got some John Boyega news. So basically in Variety, they were saying that he got interviewed-ish. And
it's a big one.
In a very what's his name? Cyborg? I forget his name right now.
Fisher, right?
Yes.
His name
Fisher.
is Fisher.
Lawrence Fisher. No, not Lawrence Fisher. But his last name is Fisher, the guy that played the Cyborg on the Justice League. He also came out, and he's going through some allegations. And here comes John Boyega saying that there was some equality going on the set of Star Wars, and a lot about the character in itself and the way that it was approached.
Yeah.
What do you think about John Boyega's feelings about his character not being, I guess, taken care of as much as Daisy and Kylo Ren's character? Yeah.
So from what I got from the interview, and you guys please check it out. It's down below in our annotations if you want to check it out for more information. I saw how frustrated he is, especially during this whole, social injustice, movement that's going on. And I see how he's been really a big spokesperson for everything about that, and how he's really pushed the envelope to make his voice be heard. And this is just an addition to that. I don't really see it the way he sees it, in a sense. I don't think it was intentional. And I think I want to say that very clearly, because what I'm about to say might sound like I'm on his side, but I don't really agree, in a sense of Disney being intentional with coming against a minority inside the series. John Boyega's character was absolutely diminished from Force Awakens episode 7 to 8, and then drastically to 9. You could see the character development of him and what they were going after. It was like an afterthought. If you remove Finn from the story plot of the second and third one, the movie still flows really well. That is a huge red flag for the character of Finn. And I don't believe that was the intention at the very beginning of the saga. Now, there's a lot of things that you could say about, there was no plan. Kathleen Kennedy is at fault. Rian Johnson dropped the ball, this and that. But the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, when the film is set and edited and released, people react and respond to it. If we would have all loved John Boyega's character and Marie Tran's chemistry, we would have gone crazy for it, and we would have had a better story in the third one, in the final adaptation. But that was not the case. People were not really drawn to Marie Tran's character, and John Boyega really got affected by that. And yes, there are minorities inside the Star Wars universe, but I don't think that was it. In Star Wars Force Awakens, you see how John Boyega's character was like being brushed with force sensitivity, and you could see how he was actually going through an awakening as well. I think that story is more so for all three of them: Kylo Ren, Daisy's character Rey, and then Finn. They're all going through an awakening, and that was not transmitted throughout the next two saga films. So I do see what he's saying, but I don't think it was necessarily because of a minority issue.
Yeah, I think that there's a side of the story where I want to agree with you. There's another side where I see his point, and I see how important it is to when you have a character like Finn, and especially he's an African-American man, and the way that they were building him up in the first one, and the way it actually progressed throughout the two other films, and how his role was diminished. I know he also mentioned something about his hairdresser not having the proper education to deal with the hair that he has. Yeah. And so he felt like the hairdresser was also lying about her I guess how comfortable she was with dealing with his hair. Mm-hmm. And he said something about his hair. When a black man grows out his hair, there's an empowerment behind that. Yeah. It's all cultural. And I totally get that and respect that, John. I definitely do. When it comes to the things that happen behind the scenes, then we're not sure. That could only just be what you tell us, and until something else comes out. But in regarding to the movie, I believe that I feel you have a point. It's very, very vague on whether they would do that intentional, especially because we do know that there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of hate. Now, do I think J.J. Abrams would have done that intentionally? No. Do I think that they could have done a better job dealing with your character? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Now, the fact that they didn't do that, I think it was because of what Ish said, which really resonated with me, is that in The Last Jedi, they presented you with this opportunity of going on a side story with the Tran character, and you guys creating chemistry there. And at the end of the movie, you guys see, what happens. They kiss. But majority of the people that watched it, including myself, I did not like it. I hated the fact that you did that. I was still under the impression that maybe you and Ray and Daisy and Ray in the Star Wars had something, a connection that was not like brother and sister, that was more romantic. And so I was thinking that they were going to take that way. Ryan didn't see it that way. He wanted to create something on the side. Yeah. I don't agree with what they did with their character. However, I don't think that they did it intentionally because of anything racial or anything that has to do with you being in a minority. Yeah. That's my opinion. I can only say that as a third party because I know that I wasn't there, and I know that you experienced that because you were actually there. You probably are previewed to a lot of information that we're not, and you see a lot of body languages, a lot of things said behind people's back, all these things that make you think that. So I don't want to completely say that you're wrong, but I don't want to say that you're completely right on everything as far as what we've seen and what we'd interpreted for what the end result was with your character.
Yeah, and I'm glad he's speaking out. I'm glad that he has the balls to do it. I'm really excited for him to do that, and I hope that he presents himself more in a professional way to studios, because this is a little bit, out of the pocket, but nonetheless, I think it's totally feasible for him to talk about this right now. I hopefully, especially with everything going on. So more power to him for saying that. But I just think that there's a different perspective to look at on that one,
and it's okay.
So
and it's okay.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think about that.
Please let us know, guys. Below, remember to subscribe, comment for us what you guys think, and we appreciate you guys just letting us know how you feel.
Yep.
Anyway,
all right, let's go into our movie review. Disney Plus is Mulan.
Yes. Congratulations to Norm. I believe Norm AJ something. I don't remember, but I know your name's Norm for sure.
Yeah.
Congratulations on winning the giveaway.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description. But they got their basket and they're excited. We got to finally watch Mulan after
I watched it today, like a few hours ago.
Cancellations, and I did too. I watched it for a second time, and multiple cancellations because of COVID. And yeah, man, we finally got to see it for $29.99 in the living room. So my question to you is overall thoughts.
Overall thoughts. Beautiful cinematography, beautiful shots, color. Everything in this movie is gorgeous, okay? It feels like a very refined wine that you're watching to some degree. Overall thoughts is that, and that it really lacked as well in a lot of areas, and we'll get into that right now, but that's my overall.
Yeah, overall thoughts, it was beautifully shot, like what you said. Actors were great. I love the acting in it. I don't think that anyone was like too cheesy. Maybe the witch was a little bit too cheesy in a sense, but after everything else is said and done with the acting, I mean, most of all the cast was really grade A, man. I love what they did with that. That's pretty much it, really, because I also felt like there was a lot of lack on this film, and we're gonna get into that. So
a couple of things, right? I'm gonna start with the good and then end with the bad. I really love the girl that played Mulan. I think she did an incredible job. I feel like that her acting and really respected the what Mulan stood for, and so I did like that character. I'm not exactly sure what her name is right now, but the girl that played Mulan.
I'll butcher her name if I say it. So.
I know Jet Li was in it, and I think he was pretty good in it as well. Scott Lee was also in there as Borokai, the bad guy. He was all right in it as well.
Donnie Yen.
And Donnie Yen, that guy can do no wrong in my book. That guy they get him for the most sophisticated, most wisdom-filled roles that there can be, and they put him in it because everybody knows he's going to work in them. And so the movie was great, was casted pretty well. I'm not going to say great because I do think that they could have done a couple of things differently with some cast members in the movie. However, where it lacked for me is that this movie is like full of missed opportunities, in my opinion. Now, I know that they tried to do something different than the actual original movie and the cartoon, but this is Disney, and everything that I've seen thus far that Disney has done, they've kept pretty true to the cartoon.
Yes.
For the most part. Even Cinderella. I don't know if you guys watched it. Yeah, we didn't get a bunch of stuff, but they kept a lot of the animated creatures in that movie, and they still involved it in that movie. And so they did that for also the other movies that have been remade as well. And so that's where I think it lacked, and I'll get more into it. But what did you think?
Well, I think I already said what I liked about it, cinematography, and like there's just moments where it was very iconic. Even the Phoenix towards the very end, when she like realizes that she could do more than what she's doing, and then the Phoenix shows up. That was a beautiful shot. Really great stuff there. But kind of what you're saying right now, I feel as though there is a lot of missed opportunities on it. My thing, and I pretty much echo everything you're saying right now. It's funny, but it's the truth. I want to just kind of analyze as to why they went down this road, and I just want to say is that the remake structure, it's a hit and miss. It's going to be hit and miss. Either you choose to make a shot by shot thing like Lion King, or you do a remake like they did with Mulan, or they did with Aladdin. Aladdin is a really good example of like hitting the exactness of the Disney stuff, right? Absolutely. But also making a little adjustments. This one, I think they went overboard, and I see why, because they want to start a franchise with this. I could totally tell that they want to make a Mulan a hero and have stories with her, which I think they could still do with a lower budget. Don't go ahead and blow 200 million on it again. Okay. That's all I want to say. Make a smaller film, less graphics, less craziness. I don't know how you're going to do that, because she's now I don't want to talk about it more, but spoilers, but
200,000. How do you not have Mushu in there? Why don't you bring someone that's going to actually bring some comedy in the movie? Why don't you have the ancestors all around in a cave kind of talking about this girl and protecting her? Because that, in essence, is what the Phoenix was doing. Not to give too much away, but you guys will know what I'm talking about when you watch it. There were so many things that this movie could have done so that it could be a home run. This was not a home run. This is probably a base hit, maybe at the most, because it wasn't terrible.
Because I saw it the second time and I didn't I wasn't like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I was willing to watch it again. It was fun.
It just got me bored sometimes.
It was very boring. And then that's the kind of like the second part that I want to say is that it was just too dramatic. The film didn't tap into the comedic tones that Mulan had before, and it took itself too serious.
It did.
I think that going down that road was a bold move, and I think that would have worked if you had a more interesting story to tell with Mulan. I know it is interesting by itself, but there's got to be something new to it, and I don't think it was enough.
It wasn't.
It was not enough. So that was unfortunate.
For me, I'm gonna give this movie a C-. I liked it, but I felt that it was really bad, and a lot of moments that it was bad. It was bad. It was good when it was supposed to be good as well. And I will give it a C-.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C, just because I did watch it the second time and I did enjoy it. And so I can't say that, oh yeah, this is not gonna be a good film for you. I would say wait to spend the $29 because it will come out in December-ish time on Disney Plus. So if you already have a Disney Plus subscription, just wait it out, and you won't be missing much because, well, it's not that great.
Very good. Anyway, I don't know what you guys think, but I hope you guys let us know on the comments below. Tell us what grade, what score, whatever you guys want to grade it. Tell us in the comments below, guys. We thank you guys for listening to everything we're saying to you guys and we're giving, and we thank you, and stay
movie minded.
Movie minded.
Peace.
Woo!